Welcome to It's Happening in Grand Prairie. I'm Georgia Clemson, and we have a wonderful guest with us, and it's a first. It's the first interview with our brand new Grand Prairie Police Department Chief, Daniel Cessny.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you for having me.
Isn't this an exciting time?
It's a great time to be in Grand Prairie.
Yes, it is. And it was just yesterday that I saw you get your official pin and be sworn in by Mayor Ron Jensen.
That's right.
And a room full of excited people.
Well, I was excited as well. It was a great experience. I'm taking over for a very well-accomplished police chief, so there's big shoes to fill.
Yes.
And I'm excited about the opportunity.
Yes, I'm familiar with filling big shoes. So I know that is part of the challenge
That's right.
as well. But it's also a wonderful benefit to be in the place that we're in Grand Prairie, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Now, why don't you start off by telling our viewers a little bit about your history as far as your education goes, or where you grew up in your education?
I'd love to. So I grew up in Camarillo, California. That's a suburb in Ventura County, just north of Los Angeles. Your viewers probably know Oxnard because that's where the Cowboys would train.
Yes.
So Camarillo's right next door to Oxnard. And I lived there, graduated from high school, joined the Marine Corps shortly thereafter, spent 4 years in the Marine Corps, and moved to Dallas in 1998. And came to Grand Prairie Police Department in 2001. Have been here ever since, and I would never go anywhere else. I love it here. Our police department's the best in the country. I admit that I'm biased, but we're the best in the country.
I agree.
So to have an opportunity to lead this organization is not just a dream come true, but we've got a great team. So you asked about my education. I've got my bachelor's degree from Columbia College. That is Cougars, not Lions, quite a bit cheaper. Mm-hmm. And I'll be finishing my master's degree in May from TCU. So my family bleeds purple. So
yes,
happy about that. Hope I don't alienate any of your viewers by being a Horned Frog.
No.
And
no
so yeah, I have spent, as I indicated, almost 20 years with the Grand Prairie PD. And I have been in just about every unit within the department. I started out in our patrol division. I worked our street crimes unit for quite some time. Back then it was called Directed Patrol Unit, and spent many years in our Dalworth community, some of my favorite times as a police officer. I spent time as a narcotics detective, a homicide detective, property crimes, domestic crimes, SWAT team leader for almost 7 years. So I've been blessed to get around the department quite a bit, and I feel like that experience has uniquely positioned me to lead our organization into the future.
Yes, we are really blessed to have you and to have had the prior leadership as well. Crime is down in Grand Prairie, isn't it?
It is. So the best way to look at crime is over a long period of time. And so over about the last 10 years, we're down about 40%. Those are real numbers. We're about 4,000, give or take, less victims of crime. Grand Prairie has very passionate police officers that like catching crooks. So we are constantly looking for innovative ways to do that. We've had a lot of success in the last 10 years, and we're continuing to knock down the crime rate.
Yes. I know in order to be in your profession, as you've said yourself, it's a calling, isn't it?
It is.
It is, and in order to do that, you have to have support of your family, correct?
That's right. So I have a very broad family. Most of them wear blue, and not just stand next to me every day, but also help protect me. I have 2 kids, Will and Avery, and they are
adorable.
Thank you.
They are precious. We saw them yesterday, and I know you can't just tell us everything about them, but they are so special.
Well, they are special. My son is starting to drive, so pray for me.
Yes.
That is, he's got his learner's permit, so that has been a challenge, but he's very good and makes good decisions, so thank goodness. And then my daughter, she's going to she's an angel. She's going to be the next president of the United States, I'm convinced.
There you go. And your mother-in-law is a very big help in your family, correct?
Right. So I lost my wife a couple years ago, as you know,
Yes, sir.
and I still have a very close relationship with her mom, and she is instrumental with helping me with my kids, and she's fantastic.
Yeah, that is such a blessing, and to have all of that in place and those wonderful kids. Now that daughter, I can see how she might have you right around her little finger. Is that correct?
There is no question about that. Yes. So she is in charge at my house. But look, she makes great grades. So does my son. They make good choices. They're both athletes. I don't know how, because I am not an athlete, but my daughter's mom was a softball player. Avery is a softball player. And look out, she's talented.
Yes, that is so exciting, and it's such a blessing to have them as on your side, because you couldn't do your job without that support.
No, it is. They make the world go round for me. So,
Yes.
and my son, he's an athlete as well. He throws a baseball, and he loves anything that has a baseball diamond. So,
Yes.
so they're both very talented. I'm blessed, and I'm so lucky to have such great children.
Now, let's talk about the things going on as far as the city and the police department. What do you think is one of the biggest challenges for our police department in the city of Grand Prairie?
So I will tell you that we're very lucky to have a very low crime rate, and that's something we're excited about, but there's always work to do, right?
Yes.
So I often say that I love it that our citizens feel safe enough to keep their doors unlocked to their cars. And I also hate it that our citizens feel safe enough to keep their doors unlocked on their cars,
Yes.
right? So we have people that will come in from other cities and will just start pulling door handles, and if they find your car unlocked, they help themselves to your property.
Yes.
So if I could just get anything to underscore here, it would be please, please, please lock your car doors. We're working on that, and that's a challenge. It's a public education piece, but it's also some enforcement challenges for us as well. So that's something we're working toward. However, having said that, we're doing a lot of really exciting things here. We are leveraging technology. We're working very hard to put our assets in the right locations, and so far it's working well. As I indicated, crime is down significantly. We've got about 4,000 less victims in the last 10 years. Those are real numbers that we're proud of.
Also, Chief, you have involved the community. The community really is a great resource, isn't it, for the police department and for our overall safety through the volunteers and other programs?
So the police department has, give or take, 200 volunteers. Those individuals are every bit as important to our organizations as the police officers, our dispatchers. They're part of our fabric. Very, very helpful. That relationship that we built with the community has been so successful because our citizens know their neighborhoods better than we ever will. So what we enjoy is when people feel like something's not quite right, they pick up the phone, they call the police, and we come running. We want our citizens to know if something just doesn't feel right, don't wait for the crime to happen, call us. It's okay. The chief is telling you, call 911. We want you to call the police. Even a 30-second head start makes all the difference in the world for us. And that's how we've been so successful in driving down the crime rate. It's not just because you have fantastic proactive police officers, which we do, but we have such a fantastic partnership with our community that has transcended anything we thought we could ever do.
Which is amazing and wonderful. Now, Chief, if someone, some of our viewers might want to get involved as a volunteer or take the police academy or something like that, how do they find out the information that's available?
So to directly answer your question, I want them to dial 972-237-8790 and ask about volunteerism. We have so many different programs and so many different directions they go. We have something for everyone. You touched on the Citizens Police Academy. So that is a very fun program where we pull back the curtain, we bring our citizens in, and we show them everything we do from top to bottom. That includes driving a police car, firearms handling. We bring in our homicide detectives, our child crimes detectives. You name it, they learn about it. So they get to be a police officer, so to speak, at the citizen level.
Yes.
Something else we're starting this year that I'm very excited about is a Spanish-speaking Citizens Police Academy. We haven't had an opportunity to do that yet, but I feel like we've got such a very large Spanish-speaking population here in Grand Prairie. I want to open the doors to our police department for Spanish speakers. That's coming. I'm very excited about that because I think that there's an opportunity for us there to continue to build our relationship with the Hispanic community that we haven't had an opportunity to do that quite yet. So it's a good time.
Yes, it is, and we have so many opportunities, and they can come have coffee with a cop if they would like to. So if they need to stay tuned and find out when the next coffee with a cop.
Please look at our
coming up.
website for that. We put it on our Facebook. We have coffee with our citizens routinely all over town. It's a great opportunity to come out and ask us questions, get to know us personally, and vice versa. It's a great time.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us today, Chief. This is a first for us to get to have you on It's Happening, and we just say thank you, God bless you, and all of our first-class GPPD.
Thank you so much for the kind words. Please keep the prayers coming, and we ask our public, please continue to pray for your police officers. We need them.
Absolutely. Thank you again.
Thank you, ma'am.
And we'll be right back.
Go Grand! Get up, get out, get going. Grand Prairie! Get up, get out, go Grand! Get up, get out, get going. Grand Prairie! Get up, get out, go Grand!
Hey fam, what's the plan? Let's get out and go Grand. Oh my, in a quick little drive, we could be having the time of our lives.
Say Lone Star Park! Lone Star Park! Everybody believe it or not! Believe it or not! Play ball! Get up, get out, get going. Grand Prairie! Get up, get out, go Grand!
Welcome back, and welcome to our next wonderful guest, Dr. Vern Alexander with GPISD.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you. Dr. Alexander, you're really an icon within our school district
I appreciate
and within
that.
our city, within our community. We're so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud to be here and proud to be in Grand Prairie.
Yes, well, many of our viewers, I'm sure, know you or know of you, but some may not have gotten around here or just moved in. So give us a little of your history with Grand Prairie and with the school district.
Okay. My father moved us here in about 1954. He went to work for General Motors, and I went to school at Dalworth and graduated from Dalworth High School in 1964. I enjoyed being there. I was co-captain of the football team, and I graduated as an honor student. Sally Moore,
Yes.
who is a great educator in our city, was my history teacher in high school, and Mr. Randolph Reed was my head football coach. You're familiar with him with the Reed Center.
Yes.
And you certainly know that David Daniels was my high school principal.
Yes.
I enjoyed him so much, and I took a lot from him as high school principal and carried that over to when I became principal of Jackson Middle School and South Grand Prairie High School.
That is so exciting. You mentioned Sally Moore and Mr. Randolph.
Mr. Randolph, yes.
And now I have to say both of those have a GPISD building named in their honor.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And you do as well, don't you?
Yes, ma'am, I am. I am
Yes.
certainly proud, and I am so thankful to the district for naming that building the Dr. Vern Alexander Building. My boys, my family is very proud, and they were a part of the ceremony on that particular day.
Yes, and that's located, where is that located?
That is located on Warrior Trail.
Warrior.
Yes, ma'am. Right next to South Grand Prairie High School. That was the old Jackson Middle School building, and I was the principal of that school for 2 years, and I was the principal of South Grand Prairie High School for 3 years.
Yes, and I saw my son today and told him I was interviewing you, and Spencer said, oh, let me tell you, every time anybody saw Dr. Alexander, he was walking around with his walkie-talkie, and then he would listen and then he would start running. You were going to solve a problem.
Yes, ma'am. That was very enjoyable to me. I enjoyed being there with the students. It's exciting. They were so supportive, and I thought it was my responsibility to keep them safe.
Yes, yes, and you did a fabulous job of that. And now tell our viewers what your title is with the district now.
I am Deputy Superintendent of Student Services. That involves quite a bit. I'm certainly in charge of student appeals. I'm in charge of student behaviors. Unfortunately, when someone violates the rules and they have to be placed in AEP or expelled from school, I have the responsibility of listening to appeals when parents appeal. I do the Student Code of Conduct, which sets the standards for behaviors within our school district.
Yes.
I think that helped me with Mr. Daniels having so strict standards at our school at Dalworth. And that's part of my responsibility. Also, school safety. I work with all of our resource officers. As you know, we have resource officers in our secondary school, and we have one that works our elementary schools and all of our middle schools. So they work with us, and we look for ways to keep our students and our staff safe. We have what we call controlled access. That means you can't get into the buildings unless we allow you into the buildings. We think that's important for keeping everyone safe.
Yes, it's such an important security factor,
Yes,
especially today.
Yes, ma'am, it certainly is.
And I know that I don't know if this is your responsibility or if you volunteer, but I know you play a big role in two of the big parades. We have MLK Day just recently. You were there.
Yes, ma'am.
And then on Cinco de Mayo, you're
You're there.
always there.
Yes, ma'am. I try to make sure that I'm a part of the community. I enjoy being a part of the community. I think it speaks to what we care about, our community and our kids. So I think it's always good for educators to be a part of what goes on in the community.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
ma'am.
indeed. And I know that you lost a dear friend, and we lost our dear superintendent recently, and I know that that has been hard on everyone at the ad building and our city as well. But what do you see for the future of our district?
You know, I do see that our school board is certainly taking applications. They are looking for the best educator, best superintendent to be able to take up and continue to move our district forward. Dr. Ho did an outstanding job. She had so many creative ideas, and she set those creative ideas in motion with our Fine Arts building, with our Debisky building, with our Fine Arts Center. I just think that she was an excellent, excellent educator that was always looking for ways to improve. And that's the reason that our district is where it is now.
Yes, and we're headed in the right direction, don't you think?
No doubt about it that we have headed in the right direction. We have, we all work together, okay? It takes a team to make sure that our students are getting a good quality education. So it takes all of us, the transportation, it takes the curriculum department, it takes the maintenance department, all of us, the grounds, everybody works together to make it all come together for the benefit of our students.
It's a team.
Yes, ma'am.
Teamwork
Yes, ma'am.
effort.
It does. It certainly is.
And how about your team, your family at home? It takes that effort as well too, doesn't it?
Yes, ma'am. I have an outstanding wife. She typed my thesis for my master's degree when I was at North Texas, and she typed my dissertation for my doctoral from the University of Texas. She was always there up at late hours of the night typing and making sure that everything was correct. So she's been invaluable to me. I have 3 boys. As I stated, my baby boy was murdered in 1999, and I have my twin grandboys that live with me, and I'm so proud of them. Their name is Keith and Kenneth.
Keith and Kenneth.
Keith and Kenneth. They are wonderful young men. I know everybody thinks the world of their grandkids, and I think the world of them. I have outstanding support. I've had outstanding support from my brother, my sisters. They all have supported me, and they all have contributed financially to me being able to go to college. It was a family effort for me to get there, and certainly I'm proud of what we have accomplished as a team. My dad, as you know, you talk about family. My dad owned a garage in Dalworth, and he also worked for General Motors for 44 years. He worked 2 jobs all the life that I had known him, and I was proud to that he's my father and that he set an example for me about work. Now, my mother was my joy of life. Okay, she was a housewife, and I adored my mother. I often tell girls that I come in contact with, young students, I often tell them, if a boy doesn't respect his mother, he can't respect any lady. So that's the measuring stick. If he loves his mother and he treats his mother with respect, he'll treat you with respect. So I try to get all girls to understand that.
Those are good words of wisdom, and we were both blessed with wonderful parents, weren't
Yes,
we?
ma'am. We certainly
We
were. You
were.
certainly were as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
We thank the
wonderful.
good Lord for that.
The Lord did well with both of us.
He did.
Yes, sir.
And Dr. Alexander, it's been such a pleasure having you. We could talk about your rich history with Grand Prairie and the Dalworth community forever, but we're going to have to sign off for today. But thank you ever so much for being here and sharing with us, for giving back to our community and making Grand Prairie even better.
It was my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you, and you too.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back, and welcome to our 2 next lovely guests. We have Marcella Perez and Amy Sprinkles.
Hello.
Hello. It's great to have both of you here. And we must have something happening in Grand Prairie pretty soon, or you both wouldn't be here with bells on. What's going on? What's going to happen, Marcella?
We do. We have a great, exciting, our annual Community Service Volunteer Day, as most residents have seen, hopefully, with some of those banner stands around the city. It's our annual volunteer day for residents to submit projects if they're in need of assistance around their home. Anything that's outdoor, as long as it doesn't require power tools, we can match our volunteers, which we recruit also from the community, from different organizations and businesses that come in and give of their time on this day. It's really such a wonderful event.
So that's why we call it, what? The big
big
event. There we go. There we go. Amy, tell us how we got started with the big event.
Well, this was your big idea.
Well, it was our idea. We all worked on it.
A&M, Texas A&M had started this decades ago. They did a service day in their city in College Station where the students could give back to the community for putting up with them all year
Yes.
long, right? And your grandson was at A&M and was involved in it, and you got very intrigued with the idea, bringing it to a municipal level. And so we went to a workshop that they offer every year and ended up being able to implement it here in Grand Prairie. So this is our 3rd annual. We've had about 1,000 volunteers at least a year, and
yes.
about 100 jobs. Last year was bigger. Last year was closer to 2,000 volunteers. About 1,500.
Yeah, we registered at least that much.
Okay. And we're off to a great start for 2020. It is March 28th. I'm not sure we've said that yet.
There you go.
And if you want to volunteer or you have a job at your home, you go to gptx.org/big event, and you can sign on our online portal.
Right. And it could be a job for you, or it could be a job for a neighbor you know that needs help, maybe a veteran or somebody that's elderly that's not able to do it for themselves. Is that correct?
Yes, and that is a great point. So there is no financial requirement for residents to submit a request as long as they are needing that assistance. We do, however, need the permission of the homeowner. So if someone would like to refer a friend, they can definitely help them with the application process, but we do need the homeowner to be consenting to the project.
And most of the jobs are done outside, is that correct? Outside the home, meaning lawn, flower bed, other things,
I
garage.
think about as close as we get inside is garage.
Right, right. And I think this is just a great time to bring people together as far as church groups can volunteer. A whole church group can volunteer to work together, or a business, or neighbors, a neighborhood. I just think that makes it so exciting because they can work together and have the camaraderie and also the satisfaction of knowing they've done something good to help people.
Yes, we've had so many volunteers in the past reach out and just tell us how amazing the day was for them. It was so, they got to give back, and they also got to see firsthand the residents being happy and being so thankful that the volunteers were there to complete those projects for them. So they've all come back and had such great things to say, and it does give businesses an opportunity. I know we've had a few businesses reach out that want to volunteer their employees, and some are even willing to pay their employees to come out and volunteer.
Yes.
So that's a wonderful opportunity. The other thing is, if anyone is interested in sponsoring, that's the other piece that they can get involved as well. Say if it's someone who cannot be available on that day or isn't able to volunteer, they can join us as a sponsor. And we have different levels starting at around $250. And they can go to the Big Event website there as well and see the full sponsorship package.
Yes, because we do need to buy trash bags and various things.
Work gloves. We provide some food in the morning at the kickoff. Everybody gets a t-shirt. And the city doesn't put any money into this at all. It is all driven by donated dollars.
Yes.
It's all volunteerism and donated dollars. So we do appreciate all of our sponsors very, very much. We even had CrossFit groups volunteer last year, and they were good workers.
Oh, I bet they got their steps
strong.
in.
Yes, and the children as well. There's so many school groups that participate. They either clean up around their own campus or they serve in their areas in their own ways. So this is a wonderful event that anyone can get involved.
So we should tell people, if you submit a job, we will visit your home to confirm the details of the job, take some photos so that we can best match you with volunteers. So we want folks to know we're going to come do a site visit. It's basically a half a day, about 8 to 1. So you're not giving up a whole Saturday, you're giving up about half a Saturday to invest in your group, in your fellowship, in your friendships, and in your community.
So the main thing for our viewers to do, if they want to get involved, which they should want to, it's so much fun, and they can go online. We need to get them registered.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, if they'd like to volunteer, they need to register. We welcome volunteers if they want to register individually. We always encourage everyone to volunteer as a group. If it's a family, they can register themselves as a group that way. It doesn't matter if it's only 3 or 4 people, but this way we can know how many people, and the groups are easier to match and pair together. But of course, if they're just wanting to come out and serve on their own, they can do that as well, and we'll match them up with another project.
This is so exciting. And ladies, you all do a fabulous job. We have a great committee that works on this, including Sarah and others that are just fabulous, that do a wonderful job, and we thank
Such a
you
great team.
and appreciate your service.
It's a fun project. We're glad to do it.
And thank you for joining us today on It's Happening in Grand Prairie. I'm Georgia Clemson. Thanks for being with us.